Here are 9 tips that you should consider following if you want to retire early with success. Now, I'm going to go through each one of them and provide an example. It's going to be rapid fire, so it's going to be a ton of fun, and I love recording these videos, as you know. If you're not familiar, I am the host of the Early Retirement Podcast. I am the Vice President at Root Financial Partners, and I'm a certified financial planner. In one of my recent videos, I did a case study of a couple that has $2 million and they're going, can we retire at 55 comfortably? And here's one of the comments from 7 Sideways. Can they financially retire? Of course. It's the mental, the social, the purpose aspect that gets us and is not for everyone. Early retiree. So the first tip is, what the heck are you going to do in retirement? Now, some of you are like, look, financially, just tell me I'm in a good spot to retire and I'm not going to run the risk of running out of money. Others of you are like, look, I know I think I'm in a good spot, but I just don't know what the heck I'm going to do. I've worked for 40 plus years. It's going to be really weird. I hope my spouse likes me being around for 20 years. Or I'm single. I don't really have friends anymore because I've been working so hard. So I do have friends, but they're at work. And I want to retire to prioritize my health, but I just don't know what to do. So with our clients, we have them walk through our post-career purpose finder. This is a worksheet, an exercise with videos that you go through. If you want to think about a retirement in a very intentional way, I would strongly recommend going through an exercise like this or something similar, because my number one pet peeve is when people go like this. You know, I think I could get away with spending $8,000 a month in retirement. But retirement's not about getting away with anything. And I will be the first person to say, please work another year so you can spend what you want the rest of your life. And I'll be the next person to say, why the heck are you working? You told me you didn't want to die with $10 million. So what are we doing here? And I'll be mad if they don't fly first class. I'll be both of those people. So number 1 is, what does your purpose and fulfillment look like in this next stage of life? Number 2 is, are you going to do any part-time income or are you going to completely stop? There's a phrase called FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. I don't like that phrase. I prefer Financial Independence, Recreational Employment. Are you working because you want to or because you have to? And if there was a job that paid way less, but you enjoyed it, so you did it for longer, how would that impact your plan? Let me show you an example. So this tool that I'm going to show you right now, as well as the purpose finder and everything else I'm going to discuss today, that's inside of the Early Retirement Academy. So if you want access to this, you don't get one-on-one guidance with me, but you do get me as a guide with pre-recorded videos and access to all the software with withdrawal and tax and estate and healthcare and all that good stuff. So if you want that, check it out. Now, going back to this, you can see here's a couple. They're 59. They have $2 million. Now, they're on track for $16 million at 93. They don't want $16 million at 93. So they're like, what if we spent more? Let's assume they doubled expenses from $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month. Well, how would that impact the plan? Well, yeah, there'd certainly be 9 million fewer dollars, but they're still okay. But what if they're also doing luxurious vacations, $60,000 a year, and, you know, taking care of their health, but massages and physical therapy and stuff that I'm always doing? Well, now all of a sudden they're okay, but not really. I mean, they're running out of money at 78. So what we might want to do is, well, what if their vacations were $20,000 a year? Just hypothetical. How does that impact the plan? Well, they're okay, but they're kind of just ending with 1.6 million, which doesn't seem like it's cutting it close. But what if markets don't perform well? So here's my point. This couple came to me going, what if we retire at 62 and 59? And I'm saying, well, what if you did part-time income? I'm not saying bring in 200,000 a year. What if you brought in 50,000 a year for 10 years? Because you like doing it. How does that impact the plan? Well, now all of a sudden, they're on track for $4.3 million. So all I said was, guys, find something you like doing for 10 years, $50,000 a year. How does that impact the plan? So these are things worth considering, because too many people go, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to retire early. When in reality, if they took a job that paid less, but they enjoyed it, so they did it more, it could make a retirement happen, just might not be the traditional sense. We're going to go a little faster now. Number 3, do you and your partner have the same idea for a successful retirement? I'd say 80% of the time the answer is yes. But I have one couple I work with where the wife loves traveling and the husband does not because he has some health stuff going on. So him traveling is just more of a burden. Now, she wants to travel now because she has her health and isn't sure if she's going to have it in 5 years from now. So she's like, well, I'll spend more time with my husband then. Now, that might not be you, but it's worth at least having that conversation with your partner and saying, look, what does a perfect retirement look like to you? And then shutting up. Don't start telling them, I'm going to travel and I'm going to make sure I'm volunteering. Just hear it from them and then go, okay. Because if you give them some ideas, sometimes that spouse will go, oh, I guess I'll do some of those things too, but they don't really want to. Number 4, what is your estate plan? Not do you have a trust or do you have a will? But some people's estate plan is, I want to die with 0. There's a famous book going around by Bill Perkins of, hey, can I die with 0? And how should I think through my plan? I'll take it a step further and go, is your goal to leave $1 million to each child? Is it to leave a home behind? Is it, and for most people, they go, look, I've saved and invested well. If there's a home that I can leave to my kids, awesome. But I don't need them to inherit $5 million. I work for what I have. I want them to work for what they have. But yeah, I would like to help them with a down payment or help them with a wedding. So estate planning to me is, what are you doing while you're alive to minimize taxes while helping out people you care about? Number 5, how are you going to minimize taxes? Is it Roth conversions? Is it tax gain harvesting? How do you pay 0% in taxes? Is it tax loss harvesting? Is it going, I'm going to do charitable giving. I'm going to pair it all in a single year and open up a donor advised fund? OMG, what the heck is that? It's a really cool strategy if charitable giving is important to you. So thinking through estate planning is important. When are you going to collect Social Security? OMG, this is a big one. Well, here's most people. Most people are in one of 2 buckets. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but maybe I turn it on earlier. I know I could delay and maybe get more, but I just don't know what's going to happen. I paid into this thing for a while. My parents wish they collected early. I'm turning that sucker on. Others of you are like, I would love to have it on, but, what if something happens to me? Because I think if I pass away, my spouse is going to get the larger amount. And so I kind of want to make sure I'm not screwing up here. And maybe I delay. So if something happens, my wife gets the bigger amount or my husband for the rest of their life. Ooh, most of you are in one of 2 there. You're both wrong. And the reason you're wrong, okay, not being mean, you're just not optimizing, is because if you turn on, like number 1, Social Security early, that increases your income. So now Social Security is turned on. Maybe there's a pension. Maybe there's rental income. Maybe there's inheritance. So now you've got all this income coming in, which will drive up your taxes. So sometimes it makes sense to delay Social Security, even if you're like, I don't know about life expectancy and health and all these things, because you'll make way more money converting, meaning moving money from a 401k to an IRA instead, to a Roth IRA, excuse me. Now, on the other hand, if you are in the bucket number 2, maybe I delay, something happens to my wife, that can be an awesome strategy. But I'll tell people, I want you to be a boxer in retirement, where let's assume you're 58, you retire early, you do some of these conversions or all this fancy stuff you see me talk about, and you're 63 and you're like, look, I feel like I did most of my tax strategy. Like I had my tax planning window from when I retired to when Social Security might get turned on, and then those distributions are going to start later. So I've kind of got this time period where I want to optimize my situation. And in that time frame, you might be like, look, I did a good job. And I'll tell my clients, go turn on Social Security whenever you want then, because you've moved enough money from your pre-tax 401k to a Roth IRA that if something happens to you, your spouse is not going to have to pay taxes on that. So if that $1.5 or $2 million keeps growing, your spouse is going to have income the rest of their life. And they're like, I was kind of just worrying, thinking Social Security was the only way I was going to protect my spouse. So something to think about. Number 7, where are your assets? Are you house rich and cash poor like my parents? $6 million beautiful home in Malibu, but liquid assets are slim. And the reason for that is they were burned by a few advisors, which is why I became an advisor, if you don't know. Now, for them, they are lucky. They love what they do. But if it was up to them, they would not be working to the degree that they are working in their 70s right now. Others of you are what I call qualified rich, cash poor. I made it up. It does not exist. This is when you have most of your money in qualified accounts, like a 401k or Roth IRA. You don't have a brokerage account, which I call a superhero account, because it helps bridge the gap, kind of like mind the gap, but bridge the gap until 59 and a half if you want to retire early. So how should you move assets? Do you have the right amount in each bucket? Number 8 is dreaming. None of this pet peeve stuff of, oh my gosh, I could get away with spending $8,000 a month or $10,000 a month and still have an okay retirement. I want you to dream big and go, how much would I give now? How much would I love to spend now? Am I going to spend more now because I have my energy and health? Maybe will it go down later? No, because I'm just going to help out my kids with grad school. Dream big about what an early retirement that is special means. Some of you go, look, yeah, having $10,000 a month would be nice, but that doesn't really add to my quality of life. I'd rather have $6,000 a month and retire 5 years earlier. Well, great. Ask yourself that question. And the number 9, I leave the not so sexy things at the end, insurance protection. So here's the last quick dopey story. I worked for Northwestern Mutual for 1 month. It was actually less than a month, but my LinkedIn shows it's a month. So at Northwestern Mutual, they're a big fancy life insurance company. I'm a very transparent guy. I said, look, I'm sure I missed it, but why is it when I sell this instead of this, and let me be clear, I asked this to my manager, when I sell this instead of this, why do I get paid more? Shouldn't it be what the client needs? Like, what the heck am I missing? They're like, Ari, just wait till you see this bonus. I said, no. They go, what do you mean? And I said, don't you worry about anything. I quit. That doesn't make sense. Why should I be incentivized to sell this product over that one? Like, I get that I get paid more. And this is the same example I share for people that have all their investments at Fidelity or Vanguard. I go, look, those companies are great. But if Fidelity is recommending all Fidelity, that's probably not in your best interest. Odds are you might want to go to the dollar store for paper plates, Trader Joe's or Kroger for something else, Whole Foods if we're buying salmon or steak. The odds are that the exact investments you should have are all at Fidelity is slim. And how do I know that? My mom is a lovely person, nicest person you'll ever meet, doesn't know stock from a mutual fund, but nicest person ever. And she's like, Ari, trust me, Fidelity wouldn't recommend this if it wasn't in my best interest. I talked to them. They're a fiduciary. I go, that's cool, but don't hire them because they're a fiduciary. She's like, why not? I said, why don't you just ask them what the commission is on the products that they sell? She's like, no, they wouldn't do that. I go, Mom, there's a leaderboard. And in the conference room where the leaderboard lives, if your rep sells a certain amount of X, he gets to go to the top of the list. And then he gets to go on a cruise. I'm not against people taking cruises, okay? Some of you go, what do you not want? People to take vacations? That's not what I'm saying, okay? You get my point. I just don't want anyone to recommend something if it's not totally in your best interest. So what the heck does this have to do with insurance? I don't care if you have $1 million of life insurance from State Farm or Nationwide or Umbrella with the USAA. I just care that you have the right protection because I've seen a lack of umbrella insurance ruin an entire retirement. So life insurance, disability, auto, home, umbrella, long-term care, everything on the insurance side needs to be protected. That's the bulletproofing. So bulletproof your retirement, use tax and estate planning to minimize taxes, withdrawal and retirement planning for an amazing retirement as a whole. So hopefully these 9 tips were helpful. If so, I have 2 options for you. Please, actually, number 1, my request, please like this video. This is how more people find it and get good guidance if you found this was helpful. Number 2, share it with someone you want to retire early with. It is just more fun to retire with friends. If you're out partying and having fun, but they're still working, but you want them to hang out with you, you need them to get their retirement plan in order. If you want to work with Root, we have a description, like in the link below, in the description of this episode, you can find that link to apply to work with us. If you just want access to the tools, but don't feel the need to hire an advisor, but you want all the things and strategies, the purpose finder, the part-time income, the taxes, the withdrawal, the estate, you can see all of that in the academy below, and I invite you to check that out if it's of interest. That's it for this episode. Bye, guys.